that one damage number that would exceed everything we've seen before.
Hey Leute, was geht? Chris here and welcome to another very exciting video. This one will be crazy. Before we start, a small but important disclaimer. This video was recorded in June 2019 at the Dauntless release version OB 0.8.2a. The current version of Dauntless, as I'm editing this video however, is OB 0.8.3, and some things changed. Now, on the latest version, critical hit damage and inspiring pylons were nerfed, but at the same time, cunning was made stronger. Just keep that in mind as you're watching the video. Lastly, when we told Phoenix Labs about our idea to hit the highest damage number possible, they decided to team up with us once again and sponsor our video project, and we're super excited about that. So huge thanks to Phoenix. This video is a 2-player run. It shows the world record for the absolute highest damage number that anyone has ever hit legitimately on a 2-player hunt at that release. At the very end of the video, I will explain why we haven't done a 4-player version. Alright, with that out of the way, let's get into the fun stuff. Let me run you guys through our strategy. Here, we're getting everything set up for the hit while we're doing Valomyr. But why are we doing Valomyr? That is because of the weapon that we're using. Look, we had to figure out what weapon would allow us to achieve the absolute highest damage number possible. The Warpike, Austin Repeaters, or Chain Blades are fast weapons. They have their advantage of many small hits in quick succession, but not that one singular big hit. And while Hammer and the Sword hit hard and all, they don't give us that one big damage number either. We have to use the Axe, and that has one specific reason. With the new recently introduced Axe special attack called Grim Onslaught and how hard we've seen it hit, we knew this is how we would conquer this task. The one specific axe we have to use is the Reaper of Night. The reason for that is it has its own special perk that lets us deal 50% more damage when under 20% health. This is insanely powerful here. Also, it comes with +3 cunning, which is super helpful for our build, which I will run you guys through in a second. See, this is an Umbral Axe, and it is effective against Radiant monsters, and there are only 2 Radiant monsters in Dauntless right now. Rezakiri is a little bit insane, so we said let's go do a Valomyr. What we're doing here is damaging Valomyr with the axe in order to fill up our determination stacks. See, hitting a behemoth can generate resolve, which is a stacking buff that turns into determination stacks. You can fill up the bar by attacking monsters until it turns white and then using the Grim Onslaught, which is basically throwing the axe to gain a stack of determination. Determination grants the axe an increased damage per stack. We can have a maximum of 4 stacks, which give us 70% more damage. The mod used with this weapon is Overcharged Cylinder. Because of that, our determination stacks can go from 3 up to 4. At the same time as we're leveling up the determination, Zen with the Austin Repeaters needs to wound the tail of the behemoth so the axe can benefit from the Savagery perk. And in order to explain that, it already brings us to the builds themselves. Let me show you which skills and perks we used exactly as we're getting ready for the final hit. The perks for this axe build are +6 cunning for an increased 50% critical strike chance, +6 energized for the increased weapon charge rate, +6 overpower which gives +70% damage versus staggered monsters, +6 rage for when under 50% health it deals 25% increased damage, and lastly +6 savagery which gives us 100% damage versus wounded parts. Our access power and utility slots were filled with +3 overpower and +3 energized. The helmet used is the Tragic Echo Exotic. Tragic Echo's special ability reincarnates the user as a shadow clone that grants 100% increased damage for 15 seconds after his first death. After the 15 seconds are over, the user is returned to their downed body. The chest piece is the Quill Spike jacket for +3 savagery. The gloves are the Boreal Might for the Rage perk. Our legs are the Boreal March. They come with the Iceborne perk built in, but that's not what we're using them for. We're using them for the Technique Cell slot to get +3 Cunning. The Darkside Lantern is used for its instant ability, which gives +30% increased damage for 6 seconds. For the Astral Repeaters build, we are using the Twilight Barrel. However, any barrel would work here. The Marksman Chamber fires a shot in a line, dealing 250 damage to the first behemoth hit. If a part is struck, that part takes 40% more damage from shots for 10 seconds. Empowered grants a damage bonus of 80% on top of that 25% to all allies. The Empowered buff is achieved by reloading the repeaters when in close proximity of the behemoth. The Captain's Grip launches a collectible buff on the ground. When picked up off the ground, it grants 20% increased attack speed for 15 seconds. When empowered, this buff is granted to all Slayers in the party. The Eclipse Prism has a chance to generate a Shadow Orb when attacking. These Shadow Orbs increase damage done by 2.5% for 5 seconds. If 5 or more orbs are present, the bonus is doubled. And finally, the Lucky Magazine, which grants 2% critical strike chance for each round missing from the magazine. The perks for this build are +6 Rage, giving 25% increased damage when under 50% health, which helps wound faster. +6 Barbed, which gives +40 wound damage on hit, and after dodging through an attack, the next attack's exposed damage is increased by 400. Exposed damage is the red number you see when attacking. A red number means you are doing wound damage. +6 Acidic, which converts 50% of part damage to wound damage and also adds +20 part damage on top. +6 Rage Hunter, which gives 40% more damage versus Enraged Behemoth. +6 Agility, it reduces stamina cost for dodging by 30%. And lastly, +3 Energize, which grants 20% weapon charge rate. Our helm is the Prismatic Grace for its technique slot and its passive ability. The Dark Marrow gives us a Rage perk and a power slot. The gloves are the Quill Spike grips for their technique slot and Barbed perk. Barbed deals wound damage each time you attack the behemoth. Our legs are the Volcanic Treads for the Rage perk and power slot. And finally, we chose Darkside again for its 30% extra damage for 6 seconds. Alright, that was a lot of detail and a lot of numbers and a lot of percentages. But now, guys, let's get ready for the final big hit. Now, see, we're on Determination level 3 now. A full white bar, about to hit level 4. But because it will only last for a while once we hit level 4, we're gonna wait for Valomyr teleporting away and then level up. This way we make sure we still maintain the stacks when we land the final hit. We're back at Valomyr now. Let's wait until he does a short teleport before we throw the axe. There we go, he goes for it, throwing the axe now, already over 10k damage. Now we have to take damage so that we die and activate Tragic Echo's ability. Popping a Frenzy Tonic now for a 15% increased damage for 60 seconds. And placing down the Inspiring Pylons near the tail for another 25% damage increase. Note here, at the last release of Dauntless, you could stack multiple Pylons if every hunter dropped one. So here we could stack 2 of those, getting a boost of 50% damage. Right now, as we're releasing this video, you can only use one of those pylons at a time, getting a max of 25% more attack. Now, it's time to die. Unfortunately, something happened. On that death, the helmet didn't proc. Sometimes if you die, the ability does not activate, so we had to self-revive and then take a lot of damage again to die one more time. Another pylon down. Now the Frenzy tonic runs out, so we're popping another one. Alright, we're ready. Last pylon is down and active, and it's finally time to die one last time. And there you see the magic happening, guys. A shadow clone waking up from the darkness, alive for 15 seconds with 100% increased damage. Now we're actually going for the tail, since axes deal increased damage on tails. So Zen marked the tail with the marksman repeaters for even higher damage. Now all we need is to hope we don't miss the tail and we get the critical hits, since we're only on a 50% critical chance right now. And now there we go. The highest 2-player damage number of all time to this day, as far as I know at least, 28,641. With an exclamation mark, which means we got the critical strike. It was successful. Now let me pause the gameplay really quick in order to explain you guys the critical hits. See, when we record this video, we would get 100% on top of our damage for 1 critical hit. Now by the time I'm editing this video and the new release of Dauntless, they changed that. Now you can only get 50% more damage from these hits. However, what they also changed is that the Cunning Perk now also increases the damage. Before, Cunning would only increase your crit chance, but now it also increases to 30%. So in the current release of Dauntless, you can deal 80% more damage with a critical hit if you have Cunning. Back in the day, you could get 100%, which is 20% more. Keep that in mind. $28,641. Holy moly, guys, that's pretty cool. It took so long to get this number, so many retries, so many different strategies we were trying out. Even though this number is already super high, we did work on a 4-player run, which was way harder to pull off, but we're gonna do it eventually. See, we had so many tries and so many fail attempts. Let me show you some of the numbers that we were able to get. It is really insane. And then at the end we decided, hey, let's go for a clean 2-player strategy, pull this off nearly perfectly. In this case, actually the only thing that's missing here is that the behemoth isn't enraged. So technically, I mean, somebody might be able to beat this number in 2 players. However, we did record this on the last release, which has the slightly higher crit damage and has the higher damage from stacking pylons. So we'll see. I think it's pretty hard to top this number for 2 players. But with that said, obviously we are doing the 4-player run where we're trying this, and it will be insane. Let me show you a little teaser. You seen this, guys? Look at this number, is insanely high. 37,000. Holy shit, guys. Personally, I'm super excited to see how high we can get the next time. If you haven't tried out Dauntless yourself yet, I highly encourage you to do so. We at TDS, we really like this game, and right now is the perfect time to try it out. If you like hunting games, give it a shot. We have a link down below in the description. Also, what I wanted to point out is, on our last Dauntless video, we showcased some 4-player hunts, such as how strong are full Molten Edicts. A lot of you guys were asking us in the comments how strong those really are, since we didn't show the full hunt, because we only showed this for the intro. Let me tell you why we did that. You see, we do a lot of those videos titled how strong is something in the game, but usually we find a way to make whatever we are using super OP, and it literally destroys the monsters, right? That's like the usual video. Unfortunately, the Molten Edicts didn't deal as much damage as we've originally expected and as we were hoping for. But regardless of how much damage they were dealing, it looked really amazing when 4 of us used these hammers on Pangar. And because of the gameplay that looked so epic, we said, yo, let's make a cool intro with that and use that. What I didn't really think of was actually telling you guys more specifically how much damage they actually deal. And I should have done that. You guys are right. I'm trying to give you an answer in this video now. Hopefully this clears this up. They're super fun to use, but they don't outperform the usual DPS hammer combo. Well, that was important for me to say. Alright, before we end this video, I'm really curious about what was the highest damage number that you guys have seen playing Dauntless so far. Was it over 10k or over 20k maybe? Let me know in the comments down below. What was your highest damage number that you've seen? Don't forget, if you want to download Dauntless, you can do that with the link in the video description. Lastly, if you guys are making a purchase in the Dauntless or the Epic Game Store and want to support our channel so that we can make more of these Dauntless videos on top of the usual content for you guys, feel free to use our new creator code TEAMDARKSIDE at the checkout. That's a super easy way for you guys to support us for free.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
And with that said, my name is Chris, I'm from Team Darkside, and I'll catch you guys hopefully on the next video.